Guys, I wanted to do a quick comparison of the RovyVon E1 with the RovyVon E8 here on the right, new one that I received fairly recently. And you know, the big differences I would say with the E1 and the E8 is that the E8 just has a bunch of these additional auxiliary LEDs here. Okay, so bring it up a little bit closer for you to see. But you've got a red LED, you've got a white LED, and you also got a UV 365 nanometer UV LED in there. And these can be very useful depending on your needs, especially the UV. Some people need that to identify documents, maybe fluids and stuff like that. The red light as well, it's great for night vision. Even the middle light here is good for low light conditions, maybe map reading, just looking around in a bag or something like that where you don't need to use these two LEDs there on the head. And they're both pretty much the same options. You can get the 6500K version or the 4000K version of both these LEDs. I tend to get the higher K version just so that I get some extra output, but that's not for everyone as well. Pretty much everything else is the same. I mean, apart from the body of the flashlight, this one's transparent. So you do have a little bit of glow-in-the-dark material running up the center and underneath the head. You get a bit of glow-in-the-dark running underneath the head here of the E1, but it's not as visible as the E8, as the body is transparent and you can see through some of the glow-in-the-dark material in there. But apart from that, I mean, they're pretty much identical. If you open up the flashlight as well here, you'll see both of these are able to accept a secondary cell. Okay, and I'm using some inner loop, AAA inner loops in here. Great for extended output. The clip doesn't attach any further than this spot. You can only attach it there and just maybe reverse it the other way around. Whereas this one, you can move it down another notch here and there, but I don't know why you'd want to do that anyway. I think this is the perfect location for the clip. I use this just on my hat, so I'll clip it onto my hat or my helmet. And it's just a fantastic little light when I'm out doing beam shots or just out at night and I need a little emergency headlamp or just something to use up close with me. So really, in terms of which one you should get, it depends on what you need. If you don't need these auxiliary LEDs, just save yourself the money and get the E1. Everything else is pretty much the same. You get the same accessories with it as well. But if you do want that these extra LEDs, and I think they can be really handy in some circumstances. So, you know, there's that. You can see here, there's activate, save battery as well, especially on these lower modes, and it consumes almost no battery on that low mode. The red mode as well, there's some flashy modes that help to attract attention. Very bright, 625 nanometer. You got that 625 nanometer UV mode here as well, which is excellent. Doesn't produce much visible light at all. I find a lot of manufacturers also just use the 395 nanometer LED because it's cheaper. So anyway, we'll go through the beam shots and you can see how both these perform side by side. Alright, I'm going to be comparing the RovyVon E1 to the RovyVon E8, and the E1 to the left, okay, and the E8 to the right. And you can see the beam profiles are pretty similar. The E8's a little brighter. Really depends on which model you get. If you get the high CRI model, it's going to produce fewer lumens. I always prefer the one that produces more lumens, but they're pretty similar in output. Let's go for a little walk. E1, E8, E1, E8. Okay. We are getting a little bit warm on the head. Let's try again. E1, E8, E1, E8. E1, E8. Both pretty impressive for little keychain lights.